I've never done a honey trap with me as the target.
Yeah.
I was called in for a case once with a homosexual target, right? I call him a homosexual target. You might have a different phrase. He was a male target who was attracted to transsexual men and post-op. So they had breasts, they looked like females, but they also still had their manhood intact.
Got it. That's what he was
That's what he was into, right? So I was supposed to target this individual and work with this individual. It became very clear to me that this individual leaned masculine, like liked men, and was showing signs of liking me in a romantic way. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to go down that road. I knew how to validate his desires. I knew how to validate his needs and his concerns, but I knew that I was never going to be the person to satisfy those physical needs because it wasn't strategically viable, and I also didn't personally want to do it. And
how did you validate? Do you mind me asking?
Validating people who have any kind of sexual preferences is really just a matter of letting them talk about it and then letting them know they're not sick, they're not strange, they're not weird, that it's just what they like. It's like validating somebody who is a vegan or validating somebody who doesn't like dogs.
That's what I was going to say. The validation piece in general feels like a strong technique.
But there's so much shame that comes along with what people feel vulnerable about.
So validating something they're even vulnerable about is even more powerful.
Bingo. Because now you're getting into a different layer of their psyche. Because they're expressing something that's sensitive. You're validating and enforcing, like empowering the thing that they feel vulnerable about, which makes them feel like they can trust you even more.
Yeah, so I was going to say, if I was in a vulnerable situation and you came to me and you were like, no, Lisa, I feel you, I totally understand, automatically I will feel seen.
Yep, and you'll feel safe. And then the next time that you're in a vulnerable situation, I might come to mind. That's influence, right? When I'm physically gone, but my thought still remains, that's influence. When I'm physically there with you, talking to you, that's persuasion. When I'm making you feel good in person, persuasion. When I'm gone, but I still make you, you still remember me, that's influence, right? So I'm with this target, I've got to develop this target. I know that he is sexually driven. I know he's in a connected energy phase. I know that he has access to what we need, information to. So what I did have the authority to do, what I did have the power to do, was to facilitate his ability to find a partner in a very niche place, right?
Like what, you took him to a gay club?
Essentially, I started identifying, researching, finding, paying for, taking him on various tours to various countries that had what Thailand calls katoys, what some places call ladyboys, right? In Southeast Asia, it's very common. It's much more common to find people who are male, post-op to female, very, very feminine looking, but still intact as males. And that's what we do. We took him on multiple tours throughout Southeast Asia until he found a partner.
But what are you saying to him? Like, why are you taking him to these countries?
Because I know that he's looking for love.
Like, as a friend?
Yeah, he's looking for love. I've always wanted to see these places. Who wouldn't want to go see the beaches of Phuket? Who wouldn't want to go to Koh Phi Phi? Who wouldn't want to go to, see the ancient ruins in Cambodia? So let's go. He paid his own way to get there, but once we were actually there, I was like, hey, I found a bar that I think you might really enjoy. And for me, it's easy enough to be like, hey, I'm happy to look at all these pretty faces and all these, pretty breasts. I've got no problem. I'm just going to keep my head above waist level. Right?
Oh, so you were like, basically, I'm your friend, I'm traveling. Oh,
I know your secrets. I know your secrets. I know that you can't tell them to anybody at work. You can't tell them to anybody in your family. I understand your situation. When I go to him and I tell him, hey, I was planning to go to Cambodia in October. I was going to spend 7 days there. I got comped a room by the Mandarin Oriental. You want to come with me? You just have to pay your own ticket. And when we go, I'm almost certain that there's 2 fantastic, trans bars that I want to check.
Coincidence.
Well, I already researched them, yeah.
But you don't tell him that you've researched them, right?
Correct. For him, I'm like, I know that you're into this, and this is a country that's friendly to what you like to do, right? His home country wasn't friendly. So do you want to come with me? And he's convenient answer with somebody that you trust. So of course he's going to be like, yeah, let's do it. And I already know that as soon as I mention that there's bars that I've already identified that are of his sexual preference, I know there's noradrenaline, I know there's dopamine, and then I know that I can make a persuasive appeal that is going to lend to a logical bit of influence that's going to make him say, Absolutely, I have to go. How could I not go? Andy's already done the research. Andy already knows where to go. Andy's already going. That means even if I do get drunk and use drugs and hang out with these prostitutes, which is something he would do, Andy will keep me safe. Right? Andy knows my secret. Andy keeps me safe. He'll hold my bucket if I throw up. He'll get me extra water and an IV if I need it, kind of thing.
Whew.
Just a big convenience.
Yeah.